Oh,
go for it.
All right. Welcome back, everyone, to the America's Qualifier, presented by Monster. We have Team Liquid going up against Isurus Gaming. We just saw Isurus out there, playing out there. They had an interesting draft. They had a Tuskar, and what did that? Meepo to feature. They had a Meepo Tuskar Centaur lineup, and it was really good. So, getting into the draft, it just started, so let's see what we got.
That's a lie. It started like 5 minutes ago.
We're kind of...
Yeah, we have to hurry up and get into the draft.
It just started. They picked really fast, actually.
Damn, this is quick. Alright, so looking at the
really
bands real quick, we have Wisp, Shadow Demon, Nyx, and Morphling, and I can't see the bottom ones completely. There we go. Batrider, Lycan, Dazzle, and Outworld.
Decorator.
No, it's Outhouse Decorator,
yes,
I believe.
True. Yeah.
Taken out. So, okay, well, I'll just say the heroes since some people don't know, But Mirana and Darkseer, very common picks. Shadowfiend we saw last game, actually, for, who was that? Was that...
that was for Sna.
Sna, that's right. Along with Synderen's favorite Keeper of the Light, and on the other side we have Invoker, which almost never gets through these days, along with Sand King, who has been like either a first ban or a non-pick non-ban, which is really weird.
Yeah.
Along with Shadow Shaman and Puck.
Yeah, so Team Liquid going into this match, definitely the very, very heavy favorite. Did Isurus, by the way, win that game?
No, they lost to, it was Iowa's team? What is their name? Iowa's team.
Oh,
Union Gaming.
Fear's
they
muted right now.
I'm muted.
Apparently.
Yeah.
That's why there's silence.
Yeah, so... okay, so
Okay,
Isurus did lose to Union in the previous game when they were playing that, so they're coming off a loss. I think Isurus still hasn't won a game. Is that correct? I think they're 0-8. So this should be a very convincing victory for Team Liquid unless something goes completely wrong for them. And, of course, they also have to win, because as we saw previously, Team Liquid lost to Gnar, but since Sna beat Gnar, we actually have the potential for Team Liquid to take first place, and of course they would like to do that, or at least secure themselves the top 2. The difference between getting first and second is pretty much irrelevant, because you just get to play the upper bracket, but you definitely want to secure top 2, or at least top 4.
Fear, you were saying, although nobody can hear you, you say they picked Tusk?
Yeah, and Meepo.
Okay, now they're picking Huskar. So
yeah.
We saw this yesterday from eHug. They did absolutely god-awful with it, but hopefully we're going to see something different here for Isurus. I think it's a good idea if you're not doing too well in the tournament to perhaps try crazy-ass stuff. And I guess that's what we're seeing here. So what do we have? Invoker mid, Sand King. Oh, is this Puck off lane? I guess so. Or it could be an Invoker. It could be like an aggressive tri-lane with Huskar, Shadow Shaman, Sand King.
I think DDX, this is DDX's best hero. It's actually the only hero I know him for. He plays a very good Invoker, so I think they'll be putting him in the mid lane where he can benefit a lot. Offlaning the Puck makes sense. The duo support Sand King, Shadow Shaman. Actually, not a pretty strong tri-lane, because when you're playing with Huskar and you have very long duration lockdowns, you get to stack up a lot of burning spears. And Liquid, they will probably be running the offlane Darkseer or maybe an aggressive tri-lane, which they've been doing quite a lot of times. But running into this tri-lane from Isurus, I don't think it's going to be too easy. They actually have a really strong one. So let's have a look. It's going to be DDX playing the Invoker, Pepita, which you hate when I say for some
Apparently
reason.
it means chips. So
means
I was kind of hungry.
So you kind of like it.
I was kind of right when I said it made me hungry.
It's got to be playing the Sand King. Then we've got Zerdo playing as the Puck. Fullback will be playing the Huskar Core. And then finally we've got Nadara playing as the Shadow Shaman.
And the other side we have TC on his, I don't know if it's an infamous Mirana yet, but it's getting there. Koivka, Shadow Fiend, along with Demon playing the Keeper of the Light. Bulba on Darkseer, and Way Too Sexy on the beautiful, beautiful Wraith King, which we always like to see. A fun hero to cast, to say the least. They don't have any man. Actually, no. EMP will destroy him.
Yeah.
So
30 seconds
that should be an interesting counter in this game. We don't really see that
It's
very
one of
often
the
because
best
Invoker's
ones.
never in these games,
Yeah.
But then again, is it going to be a Quaswex? I'm not sure.
I think this should be a Quaswex game, considering the lineup he's playing with. They have enough damage for him to not need to go for a damage build, I think, and the EMP is just too damn good in this game to not get it. Like you said, Wraith King gets countered. It's really good against Darkseer if you manage to catch him out. He can't even maybe use the mana for Surge or something like that. Shadow Fiend, actually a pretty mana-dependent hero in the early mid-game stage, and he loses his entire pool to one EMP. Mirana, same story. EMP in general is just absolutely insane.
That's why they got a Coddle, though. Your favorite.
Yeah, well, So yeah, EMP burns 550 mana from all your heroes. Great, I can restore 300 to one of them. It's gonna make up for it. But it's true. That's gonna perhaps be really important for Wraith King, at least, to get his ultimate off. That's a kind of good duo for that reason.
So it looks like we're gonna have the Mirana Wraith King and Keeper of the Light tri-lane here, which could be deadly, I suppose. I mean, Keeper of the Light kind of can avoid the Illuminate to some degree, but then again, you're going against a a Huskar Shadow Shaman Sand King lane, and you have to assume that Sand King will eventually go to the jungle. So, well, what do you take from this
Oh, no.
try v try?
I think, as far as the lane goes, the majority of the damage from Liquid, when you're playing Coddle as one of your supports and Wraith King as the other, you have a melee support, and you have a range who stands very far back and uses Illuminate, so you have good magic damage, but physical damage leaves a lot to be desired. That means Huskar can actually do quite a lot in this lane, although unless... If he exposes himself like this, then no, he cannot. That shackle is not going to be enough.
Well, unfortunately, it doesn't have Berserker's, whatever in God's name is called. Berserker's Blood, I believe. Yeah. So magic damage actually does hurt him at this point. Shadow Shaman not able to go down. But here comes Huskar with his right click and burning spears, as we like to call them. Actually, Wraith King getting quite low. I'm not sure if the Burrow Strike is going to be off cooldown here very shortly. There it is. It's going to be enough to finish him off with the right click. Arrow's going to miss. So a very, very action-packed try-v-try, which I guess we shouldn't be too surprised with.
Yeah, a little awkward initiation we got there, to be honest. Fullback can't be playing this aggressively until he has Berserker's Blood, but just the first point of that makes such a big difference, the amount of resistance you get from that.
Well, I think it's really smart for Liquid to initiate at level 1 before he can level that up.
That's when they're strongest. That's a really good point. Especially when Sand King starts getting higher levels. I think this is a game where you want to max the Burrow Strike instead of getting the level 3 Sandstorm point, because you want to be fighting on this lane. I don't think he can afford to go to the jungle and start farming, because then Huskar is going to get absolutely nothing in this bottom lane. So they need to be careful with giving Sand King these levels, like when he killed the Wraith King there, because a high-level Sand King for this trial lane is absolutely devastating.
So this is a Quas Exhort, unless it's just one Exhort.
Yeah, I mean, I just said he was going Quas Wex, right? So I am wrong about everything in this qualifier.
But it makes so much sense to go Quas Wex this game. Yeah. Like, that's really questionable.
It could be a value point just to be able to lane better against Shadow Fiend, because you can actually harass a lot with just the first level of Forge Spirit and the Cold Snap, just to stack up the stuns.
Right.
At the same time, if he doesn't expect Huskar to get very strong, then maybe they will be lacking physical damage. I just feel like the EMP in this game would be absolutely
well, I mean, look at Shadow Fiend's CS. We're 2.5 minutes in, he has 15. He's top of the game. So that obviously here you don't want, if you're Isurus in this case, don't want him to get off to a good start. And he's one of those heroes, even if you like gank him really early, he can catch up pretty quickly. He's one of the best comeback heroes in the game.
And the approach Isurus has taken here is not going to pressure Koikva at all, which I feel like this is perhaps in newer times. Koikva is really good at playing tempo controllers, but in recent times he's been starting to play, inspired by the way EG plays, with a more farm-dependent mid, like playing Shadow Fiend, Morphling, those types of heroes, Dragon Knight as well. He's starting to transition to that, and he's doing very, very well. He's an excellent lane player, so playing heroes that need to get those last hits is absolutely no problem for him. And with how Isurus are laning, they just can't really... I feel like this is going to be the easiest lane of Koikva's life, because who can really rotate here? You can't really afford to move the Sand King Shadow Shaman at this point. Or if you do, it's just going to be so incredibly obvious, I feel, that Koikva is going to know it's coming.
It's just really awkward. I mean, Sand King, like I talked about, you want him to... I mean, one of the main reasons you pick him is not only is he a great ganker, but you can just put him in the jungle for like 5 minutes and you can get his Blink Dagger pretty quick. But if he does that, then not only do you not have somebody ganking towards mid, which is already lost. Well, I don't want to say he lost horribly, but I mean, Shadow Fiend, again, it's
he's holding his own. I think the Invoker, that's pretty okay.
But if you even if you leave the lane just to jungle, then this bottom lane becomes a 3v2, and there's really nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, about this mid lane, it's just the moment Shadow Fiend gets the first 4 CS, then from then on, I don't feel like Invoker can pressure him as hard. So if you're playing Invoker and you get like Exort in level 1, you put really hard pressure in the beginning, and Shadow Fiend does not get those crucial CS, maybe you can force him out of the lane. But at this point, he's already got 20 souls from Necromastery and level 3 on raises. So now from here on out, it's going to get easier for Koikva than it should have been at the start, and that he did very well in that. So.
Arrow's going to be tanked by Sand King. Very nicely done. I think something we were harping on. I don't know if I want to call it harping on yesterday, but it seemed like TC just doesn't take part in early engagements, and this, I feel like this is exactly what they need to do. Obviously, it's not against maybe a team with the same skill level as them, but having an aggressive trial, I think, might suit them better than doing 4v5 the whole game.
It's both about both the player and the draft, but I think when they can get away with it, I would agree with you. Incorporating TC by playing an aggressive trial is really good. We're going to see if they can get fullback here. The Illumina actually going to be off the mark, so I think fullback might survive because of this. No, he's still going to die to that shot. So.
Physical damage OP against Huskar, man.
Pretty damn good against Huskar.
Good.
He's got 2 armor, so these hits with face boots from TC, they do like 70 damage.
And this is, I mean, the main reason for that death is because of the rotations here from the supports. I mean, he was all alone. And again, it's kind of like a, actually we're going to have Cold Snap. Is the Burrow Strike there? I think it's only level 1. Yes, he went 2 in Sandstorm. But the Invisibility Rune is there for Shadow Fiend, although they just put down a sentry. So questionable to put. I mean, you see 2 in Sandstorm a lot just because of the jungle, but he hasn't really jungled yet. So if he's going to be ganking first priority, it should be 2 Burrow Strike, I feel like.
It's just counterintuitive. Counterintuitive. It just kind of counters the point of what they were trying to do here. And the rotation there, they were actually going to get away with it, which
Bottom
I'm kind
lane,
of surprised by.
Huskar again goes down, and it's a 1v3. There's not a whole lot
he can't do anything here. It's completely hopeless. So, like that rotation mid, they could have perhaps got away with it because Qualifier was actually exposed, but the Shadow Shaman was so far back they didn't get to place the sentry, and Sand King with a level 2 Burrow Strike would have definitely reached him there. So, yeah, not the best of play here from Isurus, and I think this is the absolute worst thing that could happen to them in the beginning of this game. Losing their safe lane tier 1 tower at 6 minutes in a try versus try. It really means you're getting absolutely crushed on that.
Well, on some level, I guess one way you can look at it is Huskar's going to get a little bit more free farm now that it's pushed up in his bottom lane, but you need a lot more rotations from your support to dominate the other 2 lanes, which just isn't the case yet. Lane we haven't even talked about is top lane, which is the Puck versus Darkseer, and I guess matching up 32-7 versus the 38-0, so relatively even. I guess that's, I'm not going to call that a win either side, but it's not a stomp like the other 2 lanes.
No, it's pretty much the expectable outcome. I also wouldn't call mid a stomp, to be honest. I feel like DDX is doing okay. So their solos are doing fine, but their trial lane is being pummeled, and if it actually doesn't really matter, even if you're winning your solo lanes by a bit, try versus try, if you lose that heavily, you can, you're having 3 heroes sacrificed at once. If you're losing a solo lane, then maybe he can get a comeback or something. Like, let's imagine DDX had died once, he could still stand against the Shadow Fiend, but with that trial lane getting killed 3 times, it's just, they have to rotate and get something done really quickly, because their solos cannot carry a team of 3 heroes that have just been completely non-factor in this game.
They're going to be taking this stack. Demon, he's going to get so farmed. This is a triple stack. If he can get this...
Well, Nidara's going to see this happening.
Yeah, well,
he might be able
how
to
many
take
more
it with
Illuminates
shell.
is going to take? 1 or 2 is the question. And half of it's down with 1. There goes the Shackle into a Sunstrike. A lot of damage, but the Moonlight Shadow is going to get him out. At least Sand King's going to be able to finish off this, or maybe not. Oh boy. Oh boy, is he going for it? Is he going for the Illuminate? It's going to be too late. Maybe he gets 1.
Oh, the arrow, actually.
Arrow hits Shadow Shaman on the back end. Apparently TC's come to help, and Shadow Shaman will die one way or another. Was not able to deny himself off of the neutrals. But Sand King did get a couple of those creeps. That's better than nothing, I suppose.
That's just a classic Jimmy right there, actually going for that Illuminate. But if TC wasn't there with the arrow, I think the Coddle would have been dead. But good guarding, I guess you could say, here from TC at the right place at the right time. And he's now going to be 4-0. So he's got all the kills on their team in that trial lane. 34 CS, which is way more than Huskar's 13.
That's rough.
And
we talked about this the other day when Ehug picked Huskar. It's not a hero that... I mean, he has some late game potential, sure, but you pick him for the mid game. And you can't, like, not get off to a good start. It's not like a Shadow Fiend where he can recover to some degree. And actually, Shadow Fiend obviously recovers better than anybody. But Huskar... It's going to be a tough game for him.
It's a thing that many carries share when they don't have any sort of AoE farming potential. The reason Shadow Fiend can come back, the reason Dragon Knight can come back is that you can stack and then you can farm with Breathe Fire, you can farm with Shadow Raisins, you can always get something in your lane. Huskar has single target damage. If he wants to do a lot of damage, he has to hurt himself.
But Life Break's so good against creeps.
It's true. If you have an axe,
Dream Coil upon Shadow Fiend, but here comes Darkseer. Shadow Shaman is there as well, so it's a 2v2 situation. Puck's actually getting the hell out of here, and Shadow Shaman's the one caught out, so... Despite Isurus thinking they had the advantage, end up losing Shadow Shaman in the process. And here comes the chase. Oh, a beautiful fake on the arrow. He's not going to hit it, though. Puck trying to get out. Will TP out on the cliff.
Yeah, that was good individual play from both of them there. First, TC baiting out the phase shift, but then Puck taking the unexpected turn and then orbing to the high ground.
It's so weird seeing TC being so, he's... I'm not going to call him roaming, but he kind of is. He's the one.
This is what it took for Liquid, and even if they're, let's imagine they're overdoing it now, I still think that's better than not doing it at all.
Right, yeah,
because they just need to start getting him mobile and start getting him more involved in the
Oh my god. That is so mean.
It's gotta be annoying.
You're still gonna, was it 6.8 that changed that neutrals give everybody experience now, but the gold is really the big thing here. Especially for Sanking, who needs that Blink Dagger ASAP.
Especially if Keeper of Light.
And we're having another zoom in by Gods on the Reindeer. Yep, is he going for Ags?
Oh, we've got... Oh, Gods is doing the camera. That explains a lot.
It's the Reindeer again, man. You can't
I think it's going to be an Axe for Demon. They're already building the mech on Bulba. He has it. As a matter of fact, he has mech and another 600 gold at the 10-minute mark, so pretty top-notch. You can have a little bit more at 10 minutes than this, but he was playing one-on-one against Puck, so not really going to complain about that. And Koikva way ahead as well. 80 CS at 10 minutes.
A support Wraith King is level 6 right now. That's insane. Yeah. That is absolutely insane. I mean, I can't remember what game we were casting, but I think it was like 15 minutes in, he was like level 4 or 5 maybe.
And that was a core Wraith King.
That was a core?
That was one of the first games.
Okay,
we
that's
cast.
even
That was
worse.
a core Wraith
That's
King.
even worse.
But again, I think there was a game with was Liquid playing as the opponent that, or was it? I know it was Sna against Shadows of the Past. That was the first game we cast actually. I think. And yeah, that just did not work out for them.
Oh boy,
we're gonna see
the
Wraith
return
King
used.
trying to get in.
Onto Wraith King, not able to find anybody. They're just going to
Dire's
transition
middle
this into a
tower
push.
is
Of
under
course,
attack.
anytime you have a Shadow Fiend, you can just go
Dire's
for
structures
Roche
are
relatively
fortified.
early, especially considering they're on Dire. So I don't think there's going to be much that Isurus can do for that fact, but Invoker's taking advantage of the situation right now, pushing this tier 1 tower without his so yeah, okay, I don't want to harp on this too much. Do you think that, I mean, obviously Sunstrike's really good. You can set it up with a Burrow Strike, a Shackle, a Coil kind of, but do you think EMP is just needed so much in this game? I mean, Wraith King, he's a support. It's not, maybe it's not as important if he was a core.
If I can be bluntly honest, I think his skill build wouldn't matter.
Okay.
Because the problem is how much they're getting crushed in the lane. Like, they're 7,500 gold behind, 6,000 experience already.
Oh, life break, but there goes TC's lead. Can use Moonlight Shadow on top of that.
Coil?
Here's Sunstrike. Coil's going to be used. TC getting decently low, but now Isurus is the one on the run.
Oh, that arrow is...
Look at the Ion Shell, how much damage it does. And he's invisible. They can't do anything about this. Not quite in range, though. Illusory Orb's going to be used. Not going to... Oh, he is going to jaunt to it at the last moment. And we'll get out of dodge. And again, a failed gank of sorts for Isurus. But I do like the fact that they're... Like, the game that we cast with E-Hug, they waited until he had... What did he have? He had Treads, Armlet, and Helm of the Dominator before he started getting into fights. And at least they're trying to make something of it right now. Invoker did get the mid lane rack, or the mid lane racks. That would be amazing if he did that this time. He's going to use Ghostwalk to get out. But there's the Sentry. One last right click will go the way of Way 2. 6-1 advantage Liquid.
Yeah. To get back a little bit on the Invoker thing, if he would have played Quaswex, he would have had less farm. So at the very least, he's keeping up pretty well in that mid lane. And having the EMP would have been great. But at the end of the day, it's like, I would have suggested that build if the rest of the lanes were going well, but considering the situation here, this might be the better choice because he has a lot of weight to carry right now. Nice gank. Oh, that's gonna hurt!
Illusory Orb only hits one, but it is pucked, and he will fall to the right clicks thereafter. Pepita blinks. He has a blink. Okay, pretty good. Vacuum is used. There's the life break onto Darkseer. Again, that's one thing that's beautiful about life break. It'll follow you no matter where you go with that surge, and the burning spears will finish him off. I think they changed something with Life Break, as we might have some more action here. Demon trying to get out, but of course he has a reindeer, so he'll be perfectly fine. Mid lane, TP support, Invoker's there with Forged Spirits. They're just going to stun him. I don't think they're going to be able to hit the arrow, but the Starstorm is there. They're going to get the tower. Actually, it was denied by Invoker. Very nicely done. Burrow Strike, there it is. But of course, Wraith King is level 6. I don't think they can follow this up with anything. In fact, they're going to attempt to go on Invoker. There's the Sentry again. Don't believe Starstorm's up, but the right clicks might be enough. Burrow Strike not quite off cooldown. It's going to cause the death of him, along with Sand King as well. So the cooldowns just aren't there. Shadow Shaman uses his wards, not quite in range of the Shackle, unfortunately. Invoker is not up for that Sun Strike, and they're just going to turn and
I'll wait
destroy
to don't
Shadow
get
Shaman.
overconfident. Okay.
Triple kill for
Did have
TC.
15 on the one. That was
Oh,
close.
he buys back. Is there going to be a Sun Strike in base?
He hit the ground.
Okay, he hit the ground.
Got him.
Well, at least he was close. He was close.
Meanwhile,
anyway, what I was saying...
Shadow Fiend is farming.
Well, Shadow Fiend actually can get Dream Flow. There's the life break coming soon, maybe. Okay, not going to be used. He's going to right-click to his heart's content, but they're just going to turn it around. He's a life break last. I don't understand what is going on, Cinderin.
I didn't want to life break into the full Requiem in the beginning, I guess, but still.
Well, he wasn't channeling that yet, though. He wasn't casting that. He had some time.
I know, that was a little bit
I think
awkward.
they thought they had the kill for sure, but then the backup came for Liquid.
Radiant's top tower
He panicked.
is under
Wait, are you seeing Liquid's flag? Gods, here's something you can have a look at. Look in the top lane. Look at Liquid's flag. How do you like that? Or, not Liquid's, Isurus' flag, I guess.
Radiant's
It's good.
bottom tower is under attack.
Oh, apparently we missed the
Excellent
kill. We
flag.
blame that one on Cinderin.
Awful camera work, Gods.
Invoker getting the kill.
Yeah, so I found Coddle alone. Basically,
Radiant's bottom
I think...
tower is under
So,
attack.
what DDX, I think, was got most famous for with his Invoker was that he was very, very good at playing the... I don't know what you call that build, actually, but where you get Yules into the Sunstrike setup. So, Yules into Sunstrike Meteor, and then the Deafening Blast, which is perhaps the
That's
deadliest...
the Grimorum build.
The
Then you get
deadliest
Refresher
combo.
after that.
The deadliest combo in the first 25 minutes to kill a single target in the whole game, I think.
Yeah.
It's absolutely insane.
Well,
how
I
much
think
damage
people don't
you
even
can
do that anymore because you have so many heroes that can set you up for it across the map. And now that you get, well, I
Yeah.
guess it's not that new of a change, but you get full experience in gold if you're able to get the kill. Something to think about. Something I want to bring up before we have another perhaps engagement here. Huskar, I think they changed something with life break not too long ago where if you TP back to base, it doesn't follow you, which is kind of good for Huskar in that case.
Yeah.
But he will follow like a surge target.
Arrow?
He's gonna run into the air. I shouldn't say he gets hit by it. He runs into it, but no engagement will occur.
I like that reaction from TC. It looked pretty cool. He's like, he shoots the arrow, he hits Huskar, he moves a step
Dire's
forward.
top
Uh-oh.
tower
Just
is under
immediately
attack.
turns around. That was a little bit of indecision there, but maybe thought they could go for it, but it's obvious that there's a lot of backup. All the heroes from the Radiant are missing. This means there's easy split quick for Koik. They're going to take the tier 2 on bottom. Mass Serpent wards will be used, so they are setting up here with all 5 heroes, as a matter of fact. Sanking in a pretty good position here to get an
Dire's
epi
top
off
tower is under attack.
if they manage to start off the fight.
Yeah,
But
this will be big.
arrow.
Arrow's going to connect directly on the
Radiant's
Force
bottom
Spirit's
tower
face.
is under
Fortunately, that's
attack.
not the target he was going for. Illuminate's going to be on the back
Dire's
end here.
top tower
Doesn't look
has
like it's going to
fallen.
connect on anyone. And you're right, the epicenter is pretty much a make or break situation here.
Do we
for,
call the Midas on
Radiant's
Demon?
bottom tower is under attack.
Midas on everybody. You can just call that.
Call Midas.
So he's
Legit.
definitely going Ags, is what you're saying.
No,
Midas
not-
into Ags is pretty normal.
Radiant's
Well, if you're
middle
going Midas
tower
on
is
Coddle,
under
you can get a
attack.
lot of farms. You can
So
transition
MKB
into...
and Daedalus.
Yeah,
stuff like
I was
that?
thinking
Okay.
something
Yeah,
along those
that's
lines
really good.
for that. But yeah, or you get an aura build kind of, so you give a lot to your team. Kiros, Vlads, and then a heart so you don't die with your auras. I don't know.
Sounds good.
Has a lot of options. I still think Axe is the better choice overall for this kind of game. Elsa would have said mech, but since that's already on Bulba, or a pipe would be amazing for the lineup if you
That's
look at
true.
the damage type.
That is true.
Isurus
It's like
has,
pretty
so.
much all magic damage. It's almost exclusively magic damage, actually. So that'll be a great pickup. Shadow Fiend just farming right next to a Puck. Puck really can't do a whole lot. He buys Blink and he does so just as I say that. So 17-minute Blink, not the best in the world, but perhaps you can start using that to initiate. And I think they need to just start smoking up with Huskar and Puck and just try to pick people off. They don't have much of a choice here. And I think Wraith King's working on a Blade Mail. I expect him to perhaps get a Blink after that for amazing initiation possibilities. I'm still surprised they haven't taken Roche. Wait, did they take Roche earlier? Is
No,
this
no,
okay.
they didn't. You're right. He's already in position for it way too, so they are indeed going to go for it now.
I mean,
Thank
with
God they
Wraith
did at the
King's
same time,
aura, along with the minus armor from Shadow Fiend, it should be relatively easy. And again, Isurus can't do a whole lot
At the
of
same time, though, it might actually be the riskiest arena for them to fight in. If Koifa gets caught out before BKBs and he gets burst down, then maybe they can do it, but they still have a really significant advantage, and it looks like Isurus is going to find the Coddle instead. I mean, it's a kill, but paying a rush for
He's
that,
going
obviously.
Ag, so it's top priority kill, I think.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, honestly, it's better than nothing. TC's going to pick up this Invis Rune, and this Roche should be free. I expect Koitzka to take that. I mean, I know how much you like Aegis on Wraith King, but I'm not a big fan
Roshan
personally.
has
One of the
fallen
worst
to
heroes to
dark.
have it on, to be honest.
If
Oh, here we go. Puck not actually phasing that stun, and that means
Oh
the arrow
my
is going to
goodness.
connect. Just needs one raise for this, I think. No,
No.
needs one more.
They're going to use the Aegis right away.
Sick bait.
Sacrifice there for
Nice
Shadow
one.
Fiend.
Good
Wraith
position.
King continuing the initiation. He's going to put down a sentry. Actually, that was the opposing team. Going to get shackled. Can they actually follow this up with anything? There's the Waning Rift. He's not able to get his stun off, and Invoker's just running away in the enemy Ancients. Shadow Shaman continues his pursuit away from the enemy, but Invokers who we're going to be focusing on versus the Darkseer. It's a 1v1 situation. Ion Shell's doing more damage than Invoker can muster up. And Coddle's on his way. Illusory Orb is not going to hit, but it's there just for effect. It's there for, you know, intimidation purposes, if nothing else. And they end up getting 2. Liquid does.
Yeah, and they did get the Roche, and they lost, what was it? They lost the Coddle in the jungle for that, so obviously
How many life breaks have we seen in this game?
2, I think. He's got a mech now, though, which I actually think was the best item he could have gone for here, because they just need to team fight and try to stay alive against all this massive AoE damage Liquid has. And if
Imagine-
they can pull it off,
Middle
then...
tower is under attack.
Sorry, imagine a life break on Wraith King with Blade Mail.
No,
Of course, it is magic damage, so maybe not that big of a deal. But still, that's still a lot of damage. Especially at full HP, because if it's at
Oh, arrow? Oh, he's not moving!
Arrow's going to hit Sand King. Wasn't even intended for him, but they'll take it any day of the week. Sheep, though, going to keep Wraith King in his place, and the blink out means Sand King will survive to see another day. This tier 2 tower.
I think now you just go with your Isurus. Like, this is the
Oh,
best opportunity.
he
you're
almost
gonna
did
get.
it. He almost life break. I want to see it.
They immediately smoked under him. So there we
Oh,
go.
Dream
1-9
Coil on 1. They're not going to have any follow-up, and that is a big ultimate to waste. Of course, Sand King Epicenter's still there. I'm not sure if we've seen that yet. Puck's going to continue upon Demon. Demon doesn't seem to care too much. He has the point booster and an Ogre Club in the inventory, so definitely going to There's the Wraith Fire Blast into an arrow. Invoker's dead. Oh, maybe not. There's a nice Shackle's going to kill Wraith King. The beautiful Epicenter Vacuum. Although the Vacuum's on the other team, so it didn't really work out in Liquid's favor.
What a combo!
Yeah, it actually was a combo. TC going to go down to Burning Spears. Huskar's continuing the pressure. Going to get mana leaked, but he doesn't care too much about mana at this point. Although 3-second stun is
Time
nice.
to hit the Darkseer. Just hit
It's going
him.
to continue, but there's the mech keeping him alive, and they're able to take out Huskar because physical damage is so good against him. Even if you're like a relatively weak right clicker, it's still worth not using your spells on a lot of the time. And it looks like tier 2 is going to go down in Liquid's favor.
Yeah, this is an easy pick off with these heroes dead. The Epicenter from Sand King was actually okay there, but the combo just wasn't there. Dream Call wasn't cooldown because he kind of wasted it beforehand. I don't think the Invoker got to combo too well with it either. And the Mass Servant Wards weren't even used. So a lot of abilities for Isurus that just didn't have an impact in that fight, and makes it very, very easy for Liquid. We're now racking up almost, let's see, what's that, 17,000 gold lead and 20,000 experience lead. So we're closing in on that 1k magical mark that we like to talk about, where if you're gaining 1k gold per minute and or XP per minute, I don't think I've ever seen a team come back from that, not even once.
What's the percentage? 100%?
I think it's like a 700 to 0 win rate, right?
That's
we have on
insane.
that. Something like that. Gabe was like, I don't know. Don't ask me.
What happened there?
Okay.
Darkseer now has a mech, and looks like he's going to be finishing that 1,000 gold. That is a lot of farm. 22 minutes in. That's pretty insane. And looking at the rest of the items here, you're right. The double Midas, I'm surprised they didn't go for more, to be perfectly honest. TC did pick up a Maelstrom along with those drums. And Liquid is just collecting items at this point. I mean, there are 2 Blink Daggers on Isurus, but you haven't really seen... The one Epicenter was good, but you haven't really seen like the Dream Call hit more than one player.
Koikva?
Koikva's going to be forced to use his BKB.
So I'm starting to see a pattern for Liquid, to be honest, because we had a game yesterday as well with Liquid where they had like this ridiculous lead. Oh, he might get arrowed if he joins into that. Okay.
Oh, that would have been sick. I would have put that on top plays myself.
He is currently in an awkward position. He's currently dead.
Currently dead. Well, unfortunately, only a level 2 phase shift, so it can't really take advantage of the Blink Dagger to full effect.
Way 2 is a gentleman, so he breaks the coil. So
Nice.
but yeah, I'm starting to see a pattern for Liquid where they have absolutely massive leads, but they don't push their advantage too much. You can see they have twice the net worth of the enemy team, right? So this is when you generally just go somewhere and you end the game. But Liquid plays it very cautiously.
Boom!
And I'm wondering, in terms of when they're going to be playing against stronger teams, we saw it against Nara yesterday where they didn't have the lead though, but I'm wondering if at some point it's going to work against Team Liquid that they're too scared to press their advantage, so they might not feel confident enough that they can win the game, and then maybe giving their team, the enemy team, a chance of coming back, as we have Nikita just really tanking here. Nice back wall.
Vacuum wall, a lot of damage coming out, but there's the mech keeping them alive.
Arrow!
Force the fall back. Arrow again gonna hit Sanking. He's an absolute arrow magnet. 2 dead right off the bat. Huskar really can't do a whole lot. He's going down the right clicks. Of course, Shadow Fiend's so good against him. The crit destroys Puck. Oh my, that's 3 dead. And Liquid can continue to push this lane, no problem. Invoker's stuck in the... Actually gonna find him. Sunstrike and Meatball are not gonna do too... Actually, that's a lot of damage.
Wow.
He looks like he will fall to the Wraith Fire Blast.
This is a nice attempt, actually. He almost killed 2 heroes with that.
Yeah.
Both
Well, that would have been
SF and
nice
Nana.
if that was before everybody else died.
Yes,
so.
of course. But
Of course, of course.
Yeah, the synergy for Isurus hasn't really been there. The Sand King didn't get an epi off here. He got caught by the arrow as well. But
I think at the end of the day,
good to see Liquid just going for that, right?
Yeah.
They have to feel how far ahead they are. So make sure you get that tier 2 tower. Maybe now they heal up. They should just go again. Not because it's...
you're saying they're kind of afraid to throw in a lot of ways?
Yeah,
More
I think so. And
passive than it should be?
it's not that there's any risk in this game by just farming, because they also have the better late game. But it's good for building confidence that if you're leading and you, I mean, show you're dominating, right?
Yeah.
Just go and finish off the game and feel good about yourselves for being absolutely crushing the whole game through instead of sitting back and kind of spending time on nothing here.
Right.
In some cases, it's better not to push your advantage if you need to build up a little bit more, but in this case, this game is just completely out of control. So
I think it all comes down to, for the most part, just the Huskar laning stage was
Yes.
like worst case scenario for Isurus. I mean, looking back on it, maybe it was a... I mean, they put 2 out of the lane pretty much like 3 minutes in, and that caused Huskar to die.
Yeah.
I think it was at least 2 times.
he died 3 times in that
Okay,
lane.
so 3 times in that lane, and that, for a Huskar, it's just not something you can do.
Oh, Zerdo is going to find way 2 here in the jungle. Going to see if any of them is going to be in trouble here. I think so. Just jaunt out and blink across. So, yeah, just, I mean, at this point we could just as well talk about that, because the way this looks right now, this game is just in the bag for Liquid, right?
Yeah.
So looking forward, they did lose to North American Rejects as their only loss so far. So they're gonna, the most important game for Liquid from here on out, the way the standings are looking right now, is against Sna. Which they won that yesterday,
Yes,
right? So they have played Sna as well. So actually Liquid,
They're forced to. They need NAR to lose a game because they're not going to win the tiebreaker.
but then again, Liquid, I think they're not really that. They don't really care whether they get first or second, because in
true.
this format you just want to be in the top 2, because then they're going to be playing Nar or Sna, whatever happens there. So maybe they have a preferred opponent. Maybe they would like to play against Sna more. Oh boy.
Life break upon Darkseer, but again, he used it before the start. There's the Epicenter Burrow Strike combination coming into effect. That's one dead. So good gank, but here comes Wraith King. No mana on Sand King. He's just going to right-click, pops his Blade Mail just for I don't know why, actually. But he's going to get the kill regardless. Looks like Armlet is now finished on Huskar. So he's starting to get
TCs
decent
could take a
farm.
lot of damage. Here's the
boy.
combo.
Oh my lord, he just got buried within the meatball itself.
Okay.
Delicious combination from Invoker. But a 2-for-1 overall.
Gonna get a sexy zoom there from Gods. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I want more, man. I never get enough of that stuff.
And Roche is going to be available in about, let's see, yeah, in a few
We
minutes.
did mention that Ags was complete on Keeper, right?
Yeah.
I figured you'd be talking about it for like 5 minutes straight if that was the case.
It's still been like the story of this tournament so far, that keepers who get Ags are either ridiculously far ahead or they're really far behind. We saw it in the last game where Nar was really far behind when they got their Cod lag. So
okay,
I'm still waiting for that even game where it has a really big impact.
Right.
Because all of the games we've had with Cod lag so far, I feel like he could have got anything else and the outcome would have been the same. So.
Okay, I will
It's a
agree
little bit
with
of a
you.
shame.
So I do make fun of you from time to time, Cinder, but
Yeah,
I
you do.
actually agree with you on this point. I really like the Ags on that hero. But you're saying that it needs to be in a position where he's more of a core hero than like a side support?
Not necessarily. It just needs to come with the right timing. You can easily, in the position Demon is playing in this game, and the timing he got it at was actually pretty alright. If he didn't get the Midas, he would have had it at like, I don't know, almost sub 20 minutes, I think. He didn't go for the greedy Midas, right?
That's true. But they're so far ahead that it's
yeah,
you know,
sure, but
irrelevant.
he could have perhaps had realistically the same amount of farm in an
Holy
even game.
shit, the kid's getting...
then-
Oh my god! Roshan is so racist against Shadow Shaman.
Wait,
Yeah.
why was he in there? He wanted to Shadow Amulet and try to steal the Roche,
Right.
and then he got
But
bashed.
Roche would have none of it. Oh, it looks like a courier's been killed.
That's good to get a bit of items. Dire Courier? I don't know what that got picked off.
No idea.
Yeah,
But yeah,
is
Roche will go down, and
gonna go
Daedalus now on Shadow Fiend. This is,
He actually had that for a while even. He almost has Satanic on top.
so
of it.
Daedalus just picked up on Shadow Fiend, so we're going to have Wraith King versus the Invoker. Invoker's going to force staff out. Not sure if they can actually catch them here. The Blink Dagger's there for Puck.
Yeah, he'll get out.
Oh.
Good disjoint.
What was I going to say? The net worth, I mean, look at the... I almost don't even want to look at that anymore, but Invoker's the only one that isn't behind every other hero from Liquid.
Yeah.
So it just goes to show you how far ahead they are right now.
Yeah. This is where Liquid just flat out wins the game if they go 5 mid and they don't mess up. I think
Yeah, I think so.
the Wraith King can just play in the front together with
Keep
Shadow
in
Fiend
mind-
because they both have 2 lives. Exactly like this. If this initiation comes in, they don't really care. They can both die, come up again, and then just win the fight. So
Mana leak on way 2. Doesn't seem to care too much. Has plenty of mana to boot.
combo misses by a little bit.
Keep in mind, this is not daytime, so you're not going to get any heal from these
very
Illuminate.
Tower is
But
under attack.
again, they're so far ahead, I think this is free power.
Radiant's middle
Of course,
tower
Age is
has
still there. They're
fallen.
just going to continue the pressure. Playing a little bit safe. There's the Burrow Strike. Are they actually going to initiate here? There they are. So the Aegis is used. He'll be
Puck's
back.
gonna die here, though.
And it looks like Liquid's going to attempt. Oh, beautiful Dream Coil, though. And he gets blown up, so maybe not so exciting after all. One
That was
dead.
really beautiful. The graphics of the Dreamcall are absolutely amazing. Well
They
played.
They are.
Huskar taking a lot of
Can't use
damage.
life break on Wraith
okay,
King,
Qualifier
man.
doing damage.
Alright, so people are dying. Things are happening. Epicenter, decent one, but not able to finish off the Wraith King, who still has his ultimate. No, yeah, he does.
Radiant's middle
Even if they got him, wouldn't have made any difference. So full racked in mid. Sunstrike's gonna hit on Darkseer. Actually, that's half HP. That Sunstrike, is that like the highest level right now?
Yeah, I think it is.
Like
475 damage.
475.
Yeah, it's really, really sick.
That's really good. So another 20 seconds for 3 down. They might play this safe, but again, they still have the Aegis. And of course, Wraith King still has his ultimate.
Like, I'm going to come back to that for the last time because I'm wondering what is triggering for Liquid to play this way where they have a really big lead and they still play it really safely. If, of course, you're taking this seriously. I mean, it is the TI4 qualifiers and you are one of the favorites, so you don't want to be throwing games away. But I'm wondering if they've had some really bad experiences where they just lose games Or if they're trying to show Demon that this is how it's done, so you don't throw games. I don't know.
Radiant's bottom barracks are under
It's a lesson for Demon, is what you're saying? Huskar's going to be taking the right clicks from way 2. The mana leak is there. Goodbye, sir. And this should be racked. This should be game.
Radiant's
Smoke
bottom
comes up
barracks
for
are
some
under
reason.
attack.
Just for effect again. Demon picking up his patented Blink Dagger on Coddle, which we're going to be zooming in on right now. I wish you could see like the Blink Dagger hanging from his inventory there. From the actual hero itself. That would be amazing.
Radiant's bottom
Something we'll have to email Valve about, I'm sure. So congratulations to Liquid. Isurus is
6
now...
and 1.
Is Isurus 0-9?
0-9.
0-8?
0-8. 0-8.
Alrighty.
So it can still get worse.
Not really. Not really.
Oh, look who's here. The amazing cameraman.
The cameraman himself. Man, you're a quick, man. You're real quick, Gods. So what did you guys think of the... I'm sure we don't... We're going to have the camera coming up very shortly to see our beautiful, beautiful faces. But what did you guys think overall of that game? I mean, pretty stompy.
It's good. It's stompy, yeah. I mean...
It's been exactly like most of Liquid's games, except for when they played Gnar. So, I mean, we both have... I think Liquid and Gnar are tied right now, are they not?
Yeah.
So they both have one loss now, but they... For me, those two teams are still looking like they're the sharpest. Yeah. Liquid has had... All their wins have been very convincing.
Yeah, and I think even if whether they finish tied first, either way they play each other in the first round of the playoffs with the format. So whether you're first or second, head-to-head doesn't matter. You just play that best of 3 in the first round of the playoffs.
But Fear, I'm a little bit interested in your opinion on the whole thing I was talking about with confidence and trying to end the game and using the lead. What's your opinion on that? Do you have a little more insight into why Liquid are a little hesitant, it seems, to almost end their games?
The problem is they lost their Aegis instantly. Like, what they want to do is, it's pretty standard for a lot of teams, especially for Liquid, because they like to play safe, is when they don't want to break high ground unless they have an Aegis. So the fact that they lost their Aegis like almost instantly on the first one, just like, okay, we'll take the outside towers, but we don't want to break base, because it's very easy for like Shadow Fiend to siege. But if he doesn't have an Aegis, Sand King can blink and stun, Invoker will pop all spells. He'll just get blown up. And if he has an Aegis, it's a risk they don't need to take.
Maybe
to be
they
honest.
could have had 1 Force Staff to perhaps allow for that. But
it's
still,
a
if he
safe
doesn't
play.
get to turn around, then yeah.
There is risk there, so they just wanted to play safe, get the Aegis, and break high ground.
Do you think that's going to backfire for them later on, perhaps? In games against Gnar, where they're... we're assuming right now that they're going to be the top 2, but that's not obviously not the guarantee right now. Gnar has a chance still of getting there, depending on the other results. But do you think it's going to cost Liquid games that they are seeming a little bit too hesitant? Do you think they give their opponents too much space when they're leading? Or, I mean, in this game, they just kept gaining, right? But a team like Gnar, if it's a close game, do you think this could be a little...
I don't think they're playing too passive. No, I think like waiting for an Aegis to break high ground is always fine. Like farming, because they're always picking, so their late game's good. So they're always going to have at least a chance late game, because they don't go all in on the early game. One thing that I noticed Liquid does all the time that teams aren't really reacting to is they're aggressive tri-laning almost every game.
Yeah, it's really
nearly
good to
every
see.
game, which is very rare. And teams that they're not, like the tri-lanes I'm seeing that other teams are picking against them aren't good.
Yeah.
And teams need to pick better tri-lanes against what Liquid's doing, and they're doing it every game.
And the way they play those rounds, like with the Keeper of the Light, how like Demon's like quelling blading through the trees, like that's how Wraith King's getting in for those easy stuns, like to get up close. He catches people by surprise. So the quelling blade Keeper of the Light in those offensive tri lanes is like really.
The one time they didn't do an offensive tri lane with TC was against NAR, and they lost.
Yeah.
I mean, we talk about this a lot, where TC seems like a lot of times he's just sitting there farming in one lane, everybody else is doing stuff. This game in particular, he was very active, and I thought that was the main reason.
I mean, to be honest with you, a lot of teams that researched Liquid, they probably looked up like TC's going to play Luna every game on the safe lane or Lifestealer. But coming in this tournament, he's been playing Mirana most of the games. He played a Kunkka game as well, but he's being really active now. He's stepped away from that farming position. They let Koigfa get all the farm now, and he's being really active now. And it's a lot of teams aren't like they're not prepared for it.
So you think it's a better approach for them to play the main farmer mid on Koigfa and then have TC play more of a semi-carry role instead of the Death Prophet game, for example, we talked about, where he was getting a lot of farm but couldn't ever really do anything?
Yeah,
so.
I think Liquid lost confidence in themselves against NAR, or they thought, like, all right, what we normally do is only going to work against bad teams. Let's not do it against Gnar.
Or they were hiding their strategy because they were going to be tough.
I mean, they played they played the same against every single team in this tournament except for against Gnar.
Yeah,
and so they did lose confidence in what they're doing, so that will be a problem going against better teams. That they need to keep their confidence. They need to do what they're good at.
Yeah, but if they can bounce back, like I feel like next time they're versus NAR, like the fact they lost that game doesn't matter now. They can look at that and say, we kind of screwed up.
What are their remaining matches? Is there like any team that could make an upset? Revenge?
They played Revenge. Like,
hey, I called 2 upsets today. We've had 1.
Union. They have to play Union, who are doing okay, but we haven't seen Union beat any good teams yet. So
no.
Revenge lost to EHUG, damn.
Okay.
That's actually going to make things interesting. Like, EHUG could make a late run.
Despite getting a forfeit. They didn't get a forfeit loss today, did they? Okay.
EHUG's next match is against NAR. That's the next match you guys are casting here. So
Should be good.
if EHUG could win, who knows?
They could win.
Yeah. I mean, EHUGs are definitely a team when they play well, they get a good draft. I feel like they can cause some upsets. More so than
Jiggle
other
Billy
teams.
factor, man. You can never underestimate it.
I actually want to,
So good.
now that we're talking about drafting and what has been like the story of this tournament, I mean, you obviously from EG have a lot of emphasis put onto the Treant pick when you can get that.
Yes.
What do you think about the overall storyline of this tournament, where teams, generally the games we've cast, there's been a lot of Treant picks, a lot of Darkseer picks, often together, and the
Yes.
Treant pick just, why do you first pick that hero if you don't build the lineup around it or have an exceptional player? I just feel like what's happened in the American scene is everyone just trying to be EG and mimic that, or
Basically, yes.
because to
Liquid
me, Treant isn't
especially.
even remotely a first pick unless you're really, really good with
Well,
that.
according to everybody else
Right.
here, every game we didn't cast, Treant won.
Yeah.
So I think we're
I don't
kinda
know.
biased
Maybe
on
we
this
just got
subject.
unlucky
Yeah.
on that, but
No, I saw Tree lose in a lot of my games too.
Okay.
Like basically, the story of Tree is, I've gone over this a lot, but I'll go over again. Like basically, Tree is the hero that you need to play aggressive with this patch. A lot of teams go aggressive tri-lane, so they pick it with the Darkseer because you can do an aggressive tri-lane with it. That heal is ridiculous in like a tri-lane versus
Yeah,
tri-lane scenario,
very good.
and it's a 4.5 second slow. And he hits for like 90 damage and has a ridiculous strength gain, so he's hard to kill. And on top of that is you start some aggression, and then you keep your tier 1 towers alive. If you can keep your tier 1 towers alive for 10, 15 minutes, maybe 20 minutes, that hero just snowballs, makes everyone, like, makes the whole team, you don't lose gold. It's ridiculous. But if you lose all your tier 1s with that hero, it feels like a very useless hero.
Yeah.
So you have to put priority on keeping your tier 1s alive when you play the Treant, and then I feel like it's really overpowered.
okay.
All right.
So
Good.
we're
I
gonna
like
be
that.
seeing. I think both in the Liquid and NAR, I think aren't banning or picking it. So perhaps that could be. You're saying Liquid's approach to the game right now, where they're playing
Liquid-
aggressive trials. Maybe
you
that
say
could be
Tree?
a good hero for them.
Liquid has been picking Tree.
They have.
Yes,
Okay. I just
they
haven't
have.
seen. That
I've
yet.
been casting
Okay.
almost every Liquid game,
Yeah, okay.
pretty
So
much.
you know a little bit better than I
Yeah,
do.
I mean, they've been doing...
They aggressive trialing with it.
Yeah, they
Okay.
do. Like, they either substitute the Wraith King or the Tree in the aggressive tri-lane.
Okay.
That seems to be what they've been doing almost all
And
of
they
the
get
matches.
Coddle a lot. for that.
Coddle, Wraith King. I don't know if they do. I've only seen them do Coddle with Wraith King, just
Okay.
because it's. But they've been doing Mirana every time in that tri-lane as well. Seems like they just rotate heroes out because Wraith King, stuns, arrows, illuminate. That's one dead hero.
Yeah.
And before, I think they did Shadow Demon, Shri, and then Mirana. I think that was the other.
It's a very strong.
Yeah,
one,
that was
too.
the other aggressive tri-lane they did. And I think they've just been doing those two lineups like the whole tournament.
Do you think it's a
except for
worry that
Inside.
they're becoming too predictable and just running the same thing over and over again?
I mean, they're just running the same thing over. Until someone figures out how to deal with it, it is very strong.
Yeah.
But like I said, NAR is a team that knows how to deal with it. They're not going to
Yeah.
put a weak lane down there. To be fair, a lot of teams against Liquid, they did put really weak
Yeah.
tri-lanes down there. I mean, I saw an Invoker tri-lane once down there, and then there was a Morphling tri-lane, just really weak tri-lanes, and they've just been getting run over.
Were you surprised that Snar beat NAR in the first match? Would you say that was like
Oh,
an upset or just like a Snar's actually pretty...
Snaw has the potential. I didn't actually see all the game. I just
Yeah.
saw the tail end of it, but it's like a 60-40 matchup for NAR, I think.
Okay.
So I'm that surprised, I guess.
Yeah. Well, that does it for now, guys. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to have more of NAR. Oh, we've got standings to look at. We're going to look at standings first. Let's do that. We've had some other matches on the other streams going on, so we can take a look at some of those results. Still no... What's actually changed here? I'm... Getting word... Okay. So Liquid now 6-1. We can look at the bottom half of the bracket. That's where stuff has changed. EHUG picked up an upset. They got themselves another win. So EHUG now 3-3. Revenge at 2-3. So Revenge, we kind of called these guys potentially top 4. May not actually be making it top 4 at this rate.
Who did Revenge play against though?
EHUG. They lost to EHUG.
Yeah, but I mean before that, what are their other losses?
They lost to Liquid as
Yes.
well as NAR.
They play
Did
NAR?
they?
So
Yeah.
they've played like the hardest games. So they
Yes.
could win the rest and then potentially
Yep.
top, maybe be a contender for 4th place.
They still
and we
play
might see a tie as well.
Snar, I believe.
Yeah, I think Revenge had one of the hardest few.
No, they
opening
beat
games.
Snar. Yeah, they played all the top. They played the top 3 big names: Snar, NAR, and Liquid, and now they've lost to EHUG, which is unfortunate. But if they win the rest of their games, they should
Yeah.
still be top 4.
And that game against EHUG was really close. I saw some fragments of it,
Okay.
I think so. It was looking
You were
really close to the
casting.
40-minute mark. Oh, it was earlier before we started.
Oh, okay.
I think.
Oh, that was round
Yeah.
1. Okay, gotcha.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. No, I'm just at 2 places at once.
I was like, what? That wasn't round 2. Okay, gotcha. So that's our standings for now. That's where we stand, guys. We're gonna take a break. When we come back, we've got NAR versus EHUG. We'll see if EHUG can keep the dream alive for Jiggle Billy, Mr. Sunfan's favorite player.
Bias.
Go Jiggle Billy.
You guys are watching the TI4 Qualifiers, brought to you by the NA Hub, presented by Monster. We're taking a quick break. When we come back, NAR versus EHUG.